It is finally time to take a long, hard look at Beauty and the Elephant. I stumbled across this VHS of Beauty and the Beast, and I just had to know what it was. I hadn't heard of any version that turned the Beast into an elephant. But major warning about this cover, it is a lie. The Beast is an elephant though, but they're sort of doing a subtle lie here with the cartoon cover and saying it's animated in the corner. What are you gonna expect from that? A traditionally animated cartoon. What is this really? A stop motion puppet animation. I'd say there's no doubt that they're sort of trying to trick you, as the cover doesn't show you at all what the actual movie looks like. So it's a lot like the Dingo Pictures lie covers that try to give it much better looking artwork. And we aren't done with the lies. This is another tape that exaggerates its runtime by telling you it's 30 minutes when the movie in reality ends almost exactly at the 24-minute mark. But here's the biggest lie of all, manufactured on high-quality tape. This is one of the cheapest VHS cassettes I've ever seen. This tape was brand new when I got it with the plastic wrap still on it, and when I first went to play it, I got this.
One day, as he sat sorrowfully beside her, a very strange thing happened. First, a flash, followed by a face in the mirror.
I am an ugly beast, you know it. She vanished in a blaze of light. When Beauty awoke, there was.
I'm guessing the issue here was that the wheels on the cassette were sticking a bit, causing these record scratch-like skips on the playback. Luckily, I suppose, after playing it through once, the tape stopped sticking and played back properly. However, another issue was that the second you pop this tape in, it immediately starts the movie. There's no blank space or anything at all. Just the second it goes in, you're hit with the movie. This makes it rather annoying to capture due to VCR logos and it taking time to track the tape properly. We also have many company names and years associated with this thing. Mayfair Communications Inc. is the company I have pretty much nothing on, other than that this is most likely the company is responsible for the English translation of what was originally a German film. And the 1988 date is just for the English version. The original German version came out in 1976. Which is a year that matches what this actually looks like a lot better than 1988. The back of the VHS sleeve says 1990 Transatlantic Video, but the very cheap VHS top label says 1994 Diamond Entertainment Corporation. This is just a case of Transatlantic Video eventually changing their name to Diamond Entertainment, but not bothering to update the VHS sleeve. Transatlantic/Diamond were responsible for a lot of those super cheap cartoon releases, which often featured Looney Tunes characters of varying degrees of quality on the front. One of their tapes even gives you an unconditional lifetime guarantee. A guarantee of what exactly is up to you, I suppose. The last company attached to this is the original one who was actually responsible for making the thing, DEFA. DEFA was the state-owned film studio of Soviet-controlled East Germany. DEFA lasted from 1946 until 1992 after Germany's reunification, so there's like 1,000-some titles released by them. I was able to find that they did do a few more stop animation movies as well, and I guess if their Beauty and the Beast didn't creep you out enough, then you could watch The Farmer's Clever Daughter. The name credited for the script, Israel Berman, doesn't have a huge list of credits, and the only other writing credit he has is for Captain Sailor Bird. This was a wraparound segment show that showed English dubs of foreign language cartoons. So, yeah, that seems pretty similar to what we have here. I would also like to make note of the really weird cover IMDb has given their entry for this film. It's got Al and Peg from Married with Children, but this oddly isn't a cover for anything to do with that show. What this really is a cover for a skating documentary, which has aped those characters for some reason. Well, those were a series of strange holes to go down. It was pretty hard to find mentions of this Beauty and the Beast at all. However, during my digging, I did find a Russian copy of this movie, which is oddly appropriate considering this movie's East German origin.
О, отец, отпустите меня к моему любимому чудовищу. Не ходи, дочь моя.
It's one of those dubs where the Russian narrator just talks over the original audio, which is kind of weird, but what's even weirder is you can find those dubs of even me.
Что? Что это? Записка? Чтобы пройти дальше, тебе нужно найти золотую коробку.
This copy is a little clearer than my VHS, but it's a lot browner, and even with the picture a bit clearer, everyone's eyes still look like black void demon eyes. Really, the demonic eyes just add an unsettling, extra creepy vibe to this whole thing. And since stop motion can kind of be unsettling on its own a lot of the time, these evil character designs really don't help. And by the way, there is another stop-motion Beauty and the Beast out there, which is a Danish version from 1989, but it's completely silent. So don't expect a review of that one, but I will give you this quote on it.
There was, once upon a time, a wealthy merchant whose wife died soon after giving birth to a daughter.
You know, this is actually the first one of these I've seen that made Beauty/Belle an only child like the Disney one.
A very strange thing happened. First, a flash, followed by a lovely face in the mirror.
Your mileage might vary, though, on the loveliness of that face. I suppose, though, however, given that mug, he wouldn't be used to a lovely face in the mirror.
Then a living presence.
I don't know why I did that mirror thing first. Kinda seems pointless.
I will be a godmother to your daughter.
Did Beauty need a fairy godmother? I think we got our fairy tale channels crossed.
And I promise her great good fortune, provided you raise her to be a person with a kind heart.
Well, he can try to raise her to be a good person, but if she has a good heart or not is kind of a bit up to her. The fairy godmother also gives the soon-to-be old man the magic teleport ring, which is sometimes in the story, but it's usually the Beast who gives Beauty the means to teleport.
Wear this ring tonight. When you awaken in the morning, you will be with your family.
And even in this one, he still explains it, so I don't know why it's the fairy godmother who has it in this one.
You need only place the ring on this book, and you'll be with your father in the morning.
It also kind of makes less sense that the Beast knows about it or how it works when he has nothing to do with it.
And because she will grow up to be truly beautiful, name her Beauty.
Not a very clever fairy godmother, is she? And I'm glad a random stranger gets to pop in and name the child, though I suppose young old man was taking his time on a name at this point.
One day, on his way home from a journey to the city to inquire after his missing cargoes, he was overtaken by a violent storm.
Yeah, we only get a passing mention of the cargo mishap in this one, so the Beauties now being poor doesn't really factor into the story. We've also completely skipped over the part where Beauty actually asks her father for the rose, but who cares about that? It's not important. It really is kind of crazy, though, thinking about all the work that would have gone into stop animating this thing. And just after I think that, we get a prolonged shot of stupid old man lying on the ground.
He was in danger of either perishing from the cold or being devoured by wolves.
Yeah, moving slightly under that fallen tree will fix everything. This shot of him laying here lasts 23 seconds, so it really is a bit much.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry I lost my cool earlier.
Then, mysteriously at his approach, the trees parted.
No, it's some of them automatic trees. That seems normal.
I do love this guy's non-reaction to all the automatic doors and horse service. Another element I think is fairly impressive is all the candles and flames added with the stop motion. That had to have taken some work, especially back in '76.
He slumped into a chair and promptly fell into a deep sleep.
There seems to be a bunch of magic happening around me.
I always feel like an elephant's watching me.
Throughout the night, the same monstrous face appeared and reappeared in the mirror.
Alright, no need to be a creeper now, Mr. Elephant. So the beast doesn't give the old weirdo a room in this one, but he does make him breakfast at least. I do love imagining the elephant in the kitchen making all this.
Ah, roses. Surely there can be no harm in taking one.
And he was right. It wasn't a big deal at all. The end.
Who told you you could steal my precious roses?
I don't know. No one told me it was okay to crash in your castle and have a meal, but that all happened.
Forgive me, dear sir.
I am no sir.
Well, with no mouth movements, I suppose that'd make an English dub fairly easy on them.
You must be punished. You must die.
You must die!
Would a peanut change your mind?
You just made things worse. That is nothing but an ugly stereotype. Peanut-loving elephants are nothing but a fairy tale.
Well, you'd better check the mirror, Mr. Elephant, because you're in a fairy tale.
No!
I only picked this rose for my daughter who loves flowers as much as you do. I never imagined that you would miss one among so many.
Don't call me sir.
He didn't actually call you sir that time, Mr. Elephant.
I am an ugly beast and I know it.
The only thing I pride myself on is my impeccable room service.
So is the beast's life connected to the flowers in this one? Nope, Mr. Elephant's just being a jerk. This situation could have been prevented so easily in a lot of these.
Hope you enjoyed your stay at Shea Beast. Please don't pick any of the roses.
Okay, you got it.
And please leave a 5-star Yelp review.
Well, we'll see. I'll think about it.
If you don't leave me a perfect review, you must die.
I will spare your life on one condition, that your daughter comes in your place.
What are you asking? That I buy my own life for that of my child?
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, just making sure. She'll be right over.
Now take your rose and go.
Hey, at least you let you keep the flower, right? Toasty!
Oh, Father, you're home at last.
Jeez, Beauty. Think you need to lay off the tanning booths a bit. You got some wicked goggle tan lines going on there. Wait, old Dick is just tying his horse up to the front of the house? He doesn't even have a stable? No wonder the horse thought of leaving him to die earlier.
But I will go to the beast myself.
My dear daughter, never, never would I let you do that.
I could have made sure you wouldn't by not telling you, but now I get to look like the good guy.
But so weary was the merchant that he promptly drifted off into a deep sleep.
This guy really loves falling asleep in chairs, doesn't he? Well, before I take off, I'll just start a fire so hopefully the old bastard burns for getting me into this mess.
She stole away to the palace.
How does Beauty even know where it is?
And then Beauty immediately started haunting him. Nice.
Goes to the beast in his place.
Was old man drinking blood? Is he a vampire?
Nice! Sick!
Through the magic of the ring her father had delivered to her on her 16th birthday, Beauty had been instantly transported to the Palace of the Beast.
Oh wow, thanks for the great gift, fairy godmother, but if the ring just took her there, why was the horse also gone? And what was Beauty's plan if this hadn't happened? Just search every castle she can find for an elephant man?
Have you come here of your own free will?
No, a ring was given at birth magic to me here.
Oh yeah, the fairy godmother ring. I know all about it and how it works.
Well, that doesn't seem suspicious.
You are indeed good. For that, I thank you.
I thank you for being good? Alright.
Despite his appearance, the beast seemed suddenly less fearsome.
What also made him less fearsome was the fact that this elephant was quite the baker.
Did I pick one of my own roses? For that I must die!
Beauty found door after door opening to her, each leading to an elegantly furnished room.
And each leading to candles. The beast really loves his candles. What is even the point of that?
She came upon a closet of silken gowns. They all seemed to have been cut precisely to her measure.
Wow, that magic elephant sure knows how to invade people's privacy.
But the miracles weren't over yet. She found a magic book which opened at her touch to an image of her grieving father.
Wow, that's wonderful. Anyway, I sure hope the beast has a tanning bed around here somewhere. If the demon-eyed Beauty wasn't unsettling enough, then she starts gliding along the ground like the spirit of your nightmares.
And here were the roses, for one of which her father had paid so dear a price.
I believe Beauty is paying the price more than that old jerk-ass. Oh, look, a crystal fountain. Yeah, that's really something. Hey, Mr. Elephant, what's your Wi-Fi password?
Who said you could use my Wi-Fi? That's worse than picking my roses!
But it is you who are master here.
Oh no, here you alone rule.
Okay, can I go then?
Do you really find me so very monstrous?
I really do.
Why? Is it that whole I'll kill your father unless you come live with me forever thing? Or is it my trunk?
Yes, I know. I'm absolutely revolting.
Yeah, that's about the size of it.
Beauty, will you marry me?
I'm not sure after she confirms that she does indeed find you to be monstrous to be the right time to pop the question, bud.
No, Beast.
Well then,
Get a view of my stupid spine, and we'll be common law soon enough, so take that!
He does have a kind heart.
Wow, I guess the elephant's croissants are just so damn good it washes away all the death threats and kidnapping.
3 months passed. Every night at dinner, the beast visited her. When he said good night, he always ended by asking, Beauty, will you marry me?
No means no, elephant!
Opening the magic book, she saw her father. Oh, Beauty, my dear daughter, I'm dying.
Wow, I love this book.
Beauty, go to your father.
Well, at least the beast in this one didn't have to be convinced to let her go.
Under your care he will recover, and it is I who will die of grief if you fail to return.
Well, kinda seems like fighting a losing battle trying to keep you alive then anyway.
And I do promise to return.
After I catch some precious UV light.
Beauty was transported overnight to her father's side. Beauty, you're back.
That's right, I've come to reap you. And so Beauty gave him wine in bed and swept the place, and that saved him, I guess.
Don't go yet, Beauty. And so, placing her ring upon the book, she vanished in a blaze of light.
Beauty heads back to check on her elephant's grief meter to see if he's dead yet, but can't find him, so she decides to just sit around sewing until he pops up. She does this for hours until realizing that the elephant is out in the garden dying of wieneritis.
Suddenly, the beast was gone, vanished before her very eyes. In his place a handsome young prince.
But where is my beast?
I wanted to see what he could do with that trunk. This is just really depressing. I thought maybe just this one time the beast could die. Now is the winter of my discontent. Though this might be a bit of an overreaction.
Why, this is your beast.
Oh, it's the absentee fairy godmother. Nice of you to show up in Beauty's life again.
He was bewitched when a child by an enchantress.
Oh, so he's just turned into an elephant for no reason then. Sweet.
Will you marry me and be my queen?
Queen of what exactly? Oh no. Like, does the beast seriously still have people waiting for him for all these years to get uncursed and actually rule over them instead of sitting around his castle trying to trick people with bait flowers so he can Stockholm Syndrome a girl into loving him? Anyway, this movie just ends abruptly with no credits or end screen at all. Though I will say that the original German version did at least have some more credits at the beginning rather than just the writer like the English one. However, it ends just as abruptly. Now, the stop-motion puppetry is pretty impressive, but man is it ever creepy, and I was never fond of these things where the characters' mouths don't even move at all. It's also kind of weird how Beauty was given a fairy godmother, only for her to do almost nothing instead of having the magical being have been part of the Beast's backstory. Anyway, I was gonna do like this really elaborate sketch ending where I stop-motion animated Beauty and the Bat Hero, which would just take so much time, but now I have a much better idea for an ending, and I bet you'll never guess what it is.
I don't like this movie, doesn't too friendly. This bootleg is so fake, that toy is gonna break. Phelous, don't let me down, you need to be around. Grab that chocolate pizza, I live a life because I want. Phelous, so Phelous, bring a multi-comedy. Phelous, so Phelous, an animation movie. Phelous, so Phelous, what really is so fun? Phelous, so Phelous, what's your opinion about?
The ultimate love story.
Love through coercion with an elephant. There's gotta be a better love story than that.
For what reviewer could ever truly learn to love an elephant?